Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to make a delicious pozole made with lean pork loin. I normally make it with pork shoulder, but today we're going to make a leaner version. So let's get our ingredients ready and let's get started. First thing we need to do is cook our meat. In a large stock pot, I'm going to fill it up with a little bit over halfway with water. Then I'm going to add half an onion and 2 garlic cloves. Now I'm going to remove the pork loin from the package and then I'm going to give it a good rinse. Then I'm going to cut it into pieces like these. First we're going to cut it into round pieces and smaller pieces. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of fat on here, so that's great because we're going to make a lean version of the pozole. And once we have it all cut up, we're going to place it in the pot along with the onion and the garlic, and then we're going to boil it until the meat is well done. And once it's done, we're going to remove it from the pot and we're going to shred our meat. If it's too hot, you can use 2 forks like this, or you can use your hand if you let it cool down for a bit. Just make sure you don't dispose of the water because we will be using it later. And now that our meat is ready, we're going to prepare the peppers for the sauce. In a separate stock pot, I'm going to fill it up with about 2 to 3 inches of water. About this much. Now I'm going to add my chiles de árbol, which I'm going to add around 6 or 7. You can add more, you can add less if you don't like it too spicy. Or if you like it really spicy, you can add a few more. Now we're going to set it aside and we're going to remove the stems from the guajillo peppers. I'm also going to remove the seeds. And then we're going to toss it in the water along with the chiles de árbol. Now that they're done, we're going to place them on the stove on high heat. And as soon as it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it off and we're going to let it sit in the water for about 15 minutes or until it cools down. Once the peppers are nice and soft like this, we're going to place them in our blender. And once they're all in there, I'm going to add about 2 cups of the water that we used to boil the peppers. And 4 large garlic cloves. And now we're going to blend the peppers with the garlic. And we're going to blend for a couple minutes or until it's nice and smooth. And once it's done, we're going to set it aside. In a larger stock pot, we're going to strain the water that we used to cook the meat. Just make sure you get some help, especially if the water is still hot. And this is going to remove any of the pieces of garlic and onion that still remain in the water. It's going to give us a nice clean broth to work with. And once it's all strained and ready, we're going to continue with the sauce that we just prepared. Once it's done, I'm going to remove whatever residue is left on the strainer and I'm going to place it back over the pot. Now we're going to pour in the sauce that we prepared. And once we have it all in there, I'm going to give it a few good taps like this. This helps it go through the strainer a little bit faster. And now I'm going to add 2 cups of water to the blender just to get whatever sauce is still remaining in there. Pour it over the strainer and give it a few more good taps until all the water is gone through. And as you can see, most of the seeds and whatever skin was still in there is now separated. Now we're going to place our pot on the stove. I'm going to turn it up to high heat. And before it comes to a boil, we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of cumin, 1 tablespoon of dry oregano, 3 small bay leaves. I also added a tablespoon of chicken bouillon and a tablespoon of salt. Now the salt you can add at your discretion depending on how you like it. And now we're going to add in our shredded pork. Just make sure you add it very carefully because the water is now hot and we don't want it to splatter on you and burn you. So we're going to do this very carefully. And once it's all in there, we're going to add in our hominy. I'm going to use one of the large cans only because my kids love the hominy. If you're making for a smaller crowd, 2 of the small cans will do. And now that everything's in there, we're going to wait for it to come to a boil. And as soon as it starts boiling, we're going to turn it down to low medium heat. And we're going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And while we're waiting, we're going to prepare the toppings for the pozole. We're going to start out with our radishes. We're going to wash them, trim off the ends, and then we're going to slice them into small pieces like these. Now we're going to mince our onion. And we're also going to chop some cabbage. These are the toppings my family prefers. If you like other toppings or prefer other toppings, you can add those as well. These are just some suggestions. It looks like our pozole is now done, so now we can enjoy a delicious bowl of pozole. And now we're going to top it off with some cabbage, onion, radishes, and we're also going to top it off with a little bit of dry oregano and chili flakes. And of course, don't forget the lemon. You can enjoy this with tostadas, chips, or tortillas, or just by itself. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you would like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, share with your friends and family, and don't forget to leave a comment. And we'll see you another day for another recipe. Thank you so much for watching.